Everyone, welcome back to Xiaomi Live, the very first live telecast of 2023. And today we have a spectacular live session for all of you, which features our Super Note series, the brand new Redmi Note 12 5G series. Now, this is the first time that we're having a live session in 2023, and we have a lot of exciting prizes and giveaways for you, apart from the fact that this is the first time all of you can access these brand new 3 Super Notes. Now, my chief guest today is none other than Anuj, who is our CMO of Xiaomi India. Thanks a lot, Anuj, for making time out of your busy schedule. And I think we wanted to do this for quite some time now, being the first people to actually, showcase these new devices and give first access to all our Xiaomi fans and customers out there. So I just wanted to start off by, talking about the Redmi Note legacy, right? Mm-hmm. It's been 8 years now, over 8 years in fact. What do you think is that one factor that made the Redmi Note series so popular in India?
I think right from the beginning, I remember in 2014, now almost 8-9 years ago, every time a Note would come in, it would change the industry for one factor or the other. Right. The first one, before 4G came in, there was the first Redmi Note, and it came with 4G. But I think my favorites, 2016, the Redmi Note 3, right. Changed, the entire performance game altogether. I think all the Notes after that, all the other competition devices also had to catch up and become more powerful. Right. So good for consumers. In 2019, it changed the camera game altogether. I was there launching that, which was the Redmi Note 7 Pro.
Right, yeah.
Gotten a Sony IMX586, so 48 MP camera. It was brilliant. And from there, I think it took about almost a year for everyone else to catch up. But now, when you're buying a non-flagship device, you can actually expect some good quality cameras in phones. Yeah. And then in 2021, the Note 10 series brought in Super AMOLED displays. Right? So we were all locked in. I think this was around the time just before Wave 2, so another lockdown coming in. We were watching a lot of content on our phones. Yeah. You needed to have a good display. And from there, the Note series has changed. So every time a Note has come in, it has pushed the larger industry forward, right. Which has helped.
I think that's a very valid point, especially when you mentioned about Redmi Note 4G, the first Note, actually pushing the boundaries of what people expect at this particular price segment, with the first 4G device for the masses. And now, with our new portfolio, every single device is India-ready 5G, right?
Right.
What has been your experience on that?
Overall, I think from a 5G perspective, I didn't really think that 5G would come in this quickly, and the rollout will be that efficient. Yeah. And both, Airtel and Jio, we've been trying out those networks, just incredible speeds. Yeah, yeah. Wherever you see that 5G symbol coming in. Yeah. So it's important for us to have devices which actually have 5G, and India-ready 5G, which basically means that wherever you are in the country, when 5G comes to your city, these devices will support it, and you can experience that newer technology, the next generation of connectivity.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, that despite having 5G callouts, it should actually work in real life in India, and all our devices do, which is a great thing. Now, if I were to ask you, what is your top favorite thing, or one favorite thing of all these devices, what would that be?
It's a little tough. So obviously the Note 12 Pro Plus is my favorite. Yeah. So I've been talking about this device for quite some time. Yeah. One, I like the fact that this curve back fits really well in the hand. But obviously, everyone is talking about the fact that this comes with a 200 megapixel camera. And the camera is able to compete with some flagships out there and beat them, which is unbelievable for me. But that's what the Note has been doing. The other aspect on this is obviously the charging. So Xiaomi's flagship 120 watt charging comes in, which basically means that you can charge the device in 19 minutes. So incredible from camera charging. Of course, all the other Note things stay, right? Yes. So high performance, yes. Great display, yes. Overall, obviously 5G, India-ready 5G. Yeah. So you get everything that you want in a device that somehow is not a flagship costing device. So I love this overall device.
I think one fun fact is Anuj sits around at his desk and takes photos at 200 MP and then zooms in to find the finer details. But you can just zoom in so much and still retains a lot of the detail, and that's incredible at this price point especially. I don't think any device, even if you look higher up, can do it. In fact, the comparisons that you were talking about, we did that at the keynote and everyone was astonished. Even we ourselves, I think at times, because we have spent so much time tuning, we kind of got used to that. But when you take a step back and then look at it, wow, this device is competing with something that costs over $1 lakh more than its price, which is absolutely insane, I think. Moving on to the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G. What is that one thing?
So one thing is, while this does not have the curved back, so I really like curved backs, but it I think makes up because it's so thin. This is like, in fact, in 8 years, this is the thinnest Note that we've ever launched at 7.9 mm. But two things which really catch my eye. One is, with the Note 7 Pro, I spoke about how it had a Sony IMX586. Now this one comes with a Sony 766, right? So it's an enhanced sensor, much bigger pixel size, so it captures a lot more detail.
Correct.
And along with that, you also have optical image stabilization. So from a camera perspective, it does a brilliant job. And then the next part obviously is, again, it's a Note Pro, has a great display. It's actually what we're calling a Pro AMOLED. See, all the AMOLEDs that you see in the mid segment have one particular refresh rate, either 60 Hertz or 120 Hertz. This one actually has 4, 30, 60, 90 and 120. And you don't have to choose. It automatically chooses depending on the content, which is the best refresh rate for you. This is something that you only see in flagships. You don't see in mid-range devices, which is why this is so surprising. Again, a flagship camera, IMX766, and a flagship display in a super thin body. It's quite unbelievable.
I absolutely agree. And I think when you're talking about OIS, I think we are calling it Super OIS because normally what happens is OIS is kind of restricted. At least some brands we have seen them say it does not work in video, it works only in photo. And even the overall output that you get is not all that great. OIS tends to be a gimmick at times because it's not optimized well. In this case, I think we also showcased some sample where we had a 3-second handheld shot, which is almost bordering what you can achieve on a tripod, right? So that level of stability is something that takes a lot of time, a lot of tweaking and tuning to get. But I'm really glad that we were able to achieve that with this phone. Last, I think the classic evergreen Note. In this case, it's a green Note as well. What is your one thing for the Redmi Note 12 5G?
The first thing when you hold it, I think it's the best of both worlds, right? So you've got a curved back, and it's also thin and light. So it gets best of both worlds. From a hand feel perspective, it's absolutely brilliant. But in this, we've got one thing that nobody else has been able to do really well. One, again, combine it with a 120 Hz Super AMOLED display. So it's not a Pro AMOLED like the Pros have it, but it's a great display, probably one of the best in its segment that you can get. Along with that, you have 5G. So it comes with a Snapdragon 4 Gen 1. So it's the latest processor. You also have that speed, but it is 5G. And 5G with AMOLED is a combination that you don't really see in the market today. So Classic Note also kind of steps it up significantly, not just the Pros.
I think overall, if you look at the lineup, there's a lot of things that run across the board as well in terms of what we wanted to give from that typical Note experience, right? Like the audio jack, 3.5mm audio jack, which is still retained. We have large capacity batteries. We have great displays across with 120 Hz on all three devices. So I think these quintessential things that people expect from Notes are still there, while at the same time we have now equipped them with India-ready 5G and the best of everything possible. If you're looking at an all-rounder, I think this becomes a no-brainer.
I think these are also the most powerful Notes that we've ever done. So in a way, I don't really see any of these Notes having any compromises. We've really pushed the envelope for all of these. I don't think even in our very awarded Note history, we've really taken a step this large till now.
Absolutely agree. And I think beautiful offerings, and thank you, Anuj. I think this was a great start to this live session. Glad that you can make some time from your busy schedule for this, but I'm sure all of us online are appreciating this. Hopefully we can do this on a more regular basis, but now it's the time to talk to the viewers and show them what all they have up for grabs. Very interesting time. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandeep.
So with that, guys, I think thanks to Anuj for a great start to this session, but I have a few things that I wanted to discuss with you guys in terms of more specific things on the device, right? Let's start with the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. Now I'll start with the camera because that's something that's very close to the heart for me. This comes with a 200 megapixel HPX sensor. This is a custom sensor, right? So we partnered with Samsung to have this custom sensor, and it's also mated to a large f1.65 lens. The images from this are truly breathtaking. Now, if you haven't seen our launch keynote already, I would suggest please go ahead and watch it because you get all the finer details about this particular camera setup. But for now, I'll give some of the highlights for this, right? Like I mentioned earlier, Super OIS that I was discussing with our notes, this is a great factor here because with that large sensor, large aperture, and Super OIS, you're able to get incredibly great low light imaging. You're also getting great stabilized video content, and you're also getting very good shots even in daylight that does not have any shake or any blur happening even to these subjects. Now, one cool fact that I don't know if you guys know is that the camera module here itself is made of metal. Now, why is it metal? It's a simple thing because you have a larger sensor, you have a larger camera module here, and because of that, you tend to basically keep it on a table. There is a chance that the large lens element might get scratched. So we are giving a better, more durable metal surrounding for the camera setup there. Now moving on to the color, I love this color. This is my favorite for the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. This white looks absolutely beautiful, especially because it has this nice ceramic sort of feeling, right? And we're having tempered glass here, and we have Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at the front. That brings me to the display. This comes with a dynamic switch display. Like Anuj mentioned, this is a 120 Hz Pro AMOLED display, and it has support for Dolby Vision, HDR10+, as well as Dolby Atmos. And not just that, like I mentioned, we also have the headphone jack here, which supports high-res audio, both wired, and we also have support for high-res wireless on this phone. And your favorite IR blaster is also something that you'll notice on this device, as well as the other two notes that we have here today. Moving on to the battery, I think this comes with a very large 4980 mAh battery with a 120 watt Xiaomi hypercharge technology. What this means, like Anuj mentioned, is that 100% of charge is achievable in just 19 minutes. And I'm sure once you experience this, there's no going back. This totally changes the way that you look at smartphones and the way you go about your day, because whenever you are ready, your smartphone is ready as well, fully juiced up to make you go about your day. Now, you might be asking, is this actually coming in the box, or do I have to buy the charger separately? Well, honestly, I would say that if you actually buy the charger separately, it's not doing justice, especially considering this is a brand new technology and you need to experience it out of the box. So, very delighted to say that the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G comes with the 120 watt hypercharger in the box itself. So, a beautiful device. Overall, in terms of the performance also, you get a MediaTek Dimensity 1080 chipset, very, very powerful, can do everything really well, and even the ISP is also so strong that it produces incredibly good looking output in terms of photos and videos. Now, one thing you'll also be interested to note is that this comes in two different SKUs, one with 8 GB of RAM and the other with 12 GB of RAM, which is the first time again on a Redmi Note device. And both these variants, believe it or not, come with a base storage of 256 gigs. Now, most flagship smartphones also tend to start at 128 gigs. In this case, both the variants, you get 256 GB of storage out of the box. Now that brings us to the first question. Now before I reveal the question, I actually want to showcase a few things or tell a few ground rules. Now if you're watching this live stream on YouTube, I would suggest go over to me.com on the event page where you can take part in this live quiz and stand a chance to win some of our giveaways. Now this giveaway will basically entitle you to a free F code that will give you the opportunity to purchase the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G, as well as get a free bundle offer of the Redmi Smart Band Pro or the Redmi Buds 3 Lite. All you have to do is answer the following question correctly. And the question is, what is the megapixel count on the rear camera of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G? I'll repeat once more. What is the megapixel count of the primary camera on the back of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G? So very simple question. I'm hoping all of you can answer this and you will get shortlisted to be one of the final entrants, and you will get an F code which you can use to go ahead and make the purchase with the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. And not just that, like I mentioned, you're getting a free bundle offer which is either a Redmi Smart Band Pro or a Redmi Buds 3 Lite along with your order as well. So not only is this the first time that you're actually able to buy this, but you can also go ahead and actually get a free bundle. I think it already sweetens a already great deal for this incredible smartphone. Now, moving on to the next smartphone, I think we already spoke about this also briefly, but I absolutely agree with Anuj considering how slim it is. Now, this is the slimmest Note that we have ever created at 7.9 millimeters. Now, despite, or rather in spite of the fact that it's so slim, it is still power packed. It still has so many features that actually make it a crazy good smartphone, especially at this lucrative price point. Now, this comes with a frosted back design on this blue color. I love this blue color as well. It has a beautiful gradient, and considering it's so slim and light, you can actually hold it very well in the hand. And like Anuj mentioned, the camera again, 50 megapixel IMX766 sensor with Super OIS again, incredible photos, incredible videos, stable output at any given time. We also have some of the quintessential aspects that you like in a Note series device, for example, the IR blaster, the headphone jack, again supporting high-res audio, wired and wireless. We have a beautiful display, again 120 Hz Pro AMOLED display with dynamic switch that switches between 30, 60, 90 and 120 Hz depending on the content that you have, so that not only do you get the best display experience possible, but even in terms of efficiency, you get the best efficiency possible. Now, this is mated to a 5000 mAh battery, very large battery, which is incredible, and this with a 67 watt charger that comes in the box, by the way, just like the Xiaomi, just like the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G, which comes with a 120 watt charger in the box. This also comes with a charger in the box, and 15 minutes is all it takes for it to recharge to a level that you can go about your full day or even more, thanks to incredible efficiency in terms of heavy usage as well. Now, moving on to the chipset, again it's powered by a very powerful MediaTek Dimensity 1080, which also helps with this incredible ISP in capturing beautiful looking photos and videos. It also has great sound when it comes to the stereo speaker experience, which is also there on the Pro Plus 5G variant. But it is a power packed device, and I really have to say this is one of my favorite devices of all time as well. Now, I'll move on to the next question. Again, I'll lay some ground rules. If you're on YouTube, please go to me.com where you can actually participate in this quiz, and you can stand a chance to win exclusive F codes, again with a bundle offer of either a Redmi Smartband Pro or the Redmi Buds 3 Lite. Incredible offer. Be sure to claim this as early as possible by participating in this quiz so that you can get the best deal possible. So here the question is, what is the refresh rate support on the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G? Now, the answers have to be chosen from multiple choices. You can choose the correct answer, and once you do choose the correct answer, you'll be shortlisted, and the winners will get the F codes added to their account as well. Moving on to the last, but quite possibly one of the most important devices, the classic Note, the Redmi Note 12 5G, which is now a beautiful device, especially in this green color. I just love the way that it changes color depending on the way light hits it. It has a slightly pearlescent or iridescent sort of effect, and this also has a very special offering or a change in India. So not only do we focus on the overall software optimization in a country like India when it comes to the cameras, but we are also optimizing it in terms of hardware, and not just optimizing, in fact going a step beyond and improving the camera setup that we have. So India is the only country in the world which gets a Redmi Note 12 5G with a triple camera setup. So you have a primary 48 megapixel camera, very capable AI camera, but for the Indian market specifically, we are giving an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera as well. Now, this is something that we believe our Xiaomi fans as well as users will definitely appreciate, and we're giving this as a special edition only on the Indian variant. Not just that, even the front-facing camera, which is an 8 megapixel camera, has been upgraded just for the Indian audience to a 13 megapixel camera. So incredible stuff currently on this particular device. Now I'll ask one more question before revealing the rest of the aspects about the smartphone. So in this, Anuj had mentioned earlier, now I'm going to test your memory. Anuj had mentioned earlier which chipset is used on the Redmi Note 12 5G. So I'm just going to ask this question. What is the chipset that is used on the Redmi Note 12 5G? Go ahead and choose the correct answer, and you can stand a chance to win an F code, which also bundles a Redmi Buds 3 Lite or a Redmi Smartband Pro along with your order. Now moving on to the other aspects of the device, you have again a beautiful 120 Hz Super AMOLED display on this, great viewing angles, incredible colors, overall properly good multimedia experience. You still get the 3.5mm audio jack, you still get the IR blaster, and overall a very immersive experience regardless of whether you're watching movies, playing games, anything, because you also get a Snapdragon 4 Gen 1. So in case you haven't answered that already, here's the correct answer. This comes with a Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 chipset inside it, which is extremely capable, be it in terms of gaming, in terms of multitasking, or when it comes to the connectivity. Because now the classic Note is also 5G enabled. And like Anuj was saying, we have incredible results across the board, be it on Airtel or Jio, where we have speeds in excess of 1 Gbps when we were testing this. And these were speeds that we honestly did not even dream of, even for a wired connection in our home or in our offices. But with this, you're getting all this anytime, anywhere, as long as your network provider is supporting it in that particular location. Moving on to the battery, this comes with a 5000 mAh large battery. So not only do you have a very powerful and efficient chipset, but coupled with a 5000 mAh battery, what this means is that you have in excess of a day. In fact, most people are getting 2 days of use easily with this efficient chipset and 5000 mAh battery combination. And yes, the charger also comes in the box with this particular Redmi Note 12 5G. Now, this also, like the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G, is very, very slim at just 7.9 millimeters, making it the slimmest Note along with the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G to ever be launched. Now, that brings me to the next question. What is the slimness of the slimmest Note? That is, what is the slimness of the Redmi Note 12 5G? Choose the correct answer. If you're watching this on YouTube, please head over to me.com to take part in the quiz. And by the way, there's also a special prize for folks who get all the 5 questions right. We have done 4 questions so far. One more question. If all of you get all 5 questions right, there is a special prize for the winner for that also. Now, that was the Redmi Note 12 5G. Now, one more question, the 5th question. We move back to the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G. We had already spoken about the camera sensor on this. So the question is, what is the camera sensor that is used on the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G? So it's very simple. I think we already spoke about the legacy. Just to give you a hint, with the IMX586 on the Note 7 Pro, which Anuj had launched on stage, this also comes with an IMX. And in fact, I'll give you one better. This is the 766. So go ahead and reply as soon as possible. The right answer will again get F codes as well as a bundle offer on the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G, which gives you free Buds 3 Lite or the Redmi Smart Band Pro. Now, before we open up to Q&A, we also have a very special sort of announcement to make. Anyone who gets all these 5 answers correct, you can also stand the chance to win an absolutely free smartphone, which is the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. So if you got all these answers right so far, you are entitled to be in the short running to win the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G absolutely free of cost. Isn't that amazing? A smartphone so capable with a 200 megapixel HPX sensor, f1.65 aperture and Super OIS, 120 watt Xiaomi hypercharge technology with charger in the box, a Pro AMOLED display with 120 Hz and dynamic switching, MediaTek 1080 chipset, overall every single thing that you would want in a smartphone and much, much more, absolutely free of cost. With that, now we'll move on to the Q&A, where I'll take a look at some of the questions that have been populated here. So I think one interesting Q&A here is, what is the benefit of having 200 megapixel resolution? I think the Me ID ends with 282. So 200 megapixel, honestly, if I were to list out all the benefits, it's very, very long, but I'll keep it very simple and summarize it in a few short points. Number one, 200 megapixels of resolution means you have incredible detail, incredible output at any time of the day. Second, because you have more color information captured from 200 million pixels, you have better color accuracy. Third, because you have 200 MP, a large sensor, a large aperture, and Super OIS, you get incredible low light images. And most importantly, you also get incredible looking portraits. We all love capturing photos of our family, of our friends, and this has a really large sensor which allows you to capture beautiful bokeh and beautiful portraits at any time of the day as well. So that is the answer to the benefit of having 200 MP resolution, and in fact it's not just important to have 200 megapixels of resolution, but rather we need to optimize it to get the best possible output, which we have done on this particular smartphone. And if you haven't seen our keynote already, I would suggest go check it out, where we have compared it to multiple other devices, even flagships, where this has performed way better than those devices. Next question, is the back panel of the phone really made of glass? Me ID ending in 967. And yes, this is actually tempered glass. So we are not doing any cost cutting here. We're actually having tempered glass on the Note 12 Pro Plus 5G and the Note 12 Pro 5G. Both of these have tempered glass at the back, and they have Corning Gorilla Glass 5 in the front. The classic Note gets Corning Gorilla Glass 3 at the front. Can I use my wired earphones with Redmi Note 12 series? Sunny has asked this. So yes, Sunny, you can. Like I mentioned, all the three devices come with a headphone jack, and that is absolutely amazing because you also have the power to drive even headphones with higher impedance, and you get really great audio quality. Like I mentioned, on the 12 Pro Plus and the 12 Pro, you also get high-res audio for wired and wireless. How does having HPX sensor in the camera setup help? So this was asked by Prince. So Prince, I think we were talking about optimization. The key here is also the same, not just from a software perspective. While at any given point in any smartphone in Xiaomi India, we try and get the best possible results out of any sensor. With the HPX, what we did is also work on a custom sensor that allows us to extract even better quality images, even better quality photos and videos at any given point of time, and that's where the HPX sensor comes in. So a custom sensor along with custom image processing and overall a great ISP thanks to the MediaTek Dimensity 1080, and you have incredible looking results from the camera on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. What bands of 5G does the series support? Will I be able to use 5G in my area? Abhishek has asked this. So Abhishek, very interesting question. And I think while we have been focusing a lot on bands, right? This has a lot of bands, and definitely we can discuss that. But I think I would like to point your attention towards India-ready 5G. As we discussed earlier with Anuj, why we're talking about India-ready 5G is because despite having the bands required in a country like India, there are still some smartphones out there that do not support India 5G. That's why we call our smartphones India-ready 5G, because out of the box, as long as there is 5G in that area from your telecom operator, you can access the benefits of 5G in terms of low latency, faster download, faster upload, and everything else related to 5G. So all these three devices that you see here are India 5G ready. So you take it out of the box, pop in your SIM, whichever supports 5G in India, and if there's 5G available at that location, you will get 5G. And not just that, as we showcased in the keynote as well, you're getting much better speeds, much better performance over 5G from our three super notes as well. Vikas has asked a question, does the Redmi Note 12 5G come with fast charge? Yes, it does come with fast charge. Even though it has a 5000 mAh battery, it comes with fast charge, and it also has a fast charger in the box. In fact, charger is there in the box on all three devices. So you no longer need to spend extra bit of money to go ahead and buy a charger. And especially because these are fast chargers, they tend to cost quite a bit of money as well. But when you're buying a device from the Super Note collection, that is the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G, the Redmi Note 12 5G, or the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G, all of them come with the charger in the box itself. One question from Salman, what is the processor on the Redmi Note 12 5G? Salman, this is the Snapdragon 4 Gen 1, a very powerful chipset, gives you the best of gaming, best of multitasking, best of efficiency, best of networking. Every single thing is absolutely great on this particular smartphone. Let me just see if there's anything else as well. So I think a very interesting question, Dolby support. The Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G as well as Redmi Note 12 Pro come with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, and they are also HDR10 plus rated. So all your content, right, be it on Netflix, be it on Prime, Hotstar, any OTT service that you're using, this comes with the best possible quality because you have 120 Hz Pro AMOLED display that gives you incredible looking visuals, but you also have the ability of dynamic switch that it caters to whatever content you're viewing on it so that you get the best possible experience there, and also your efficiency. It's no longer draining unnecessarily. For example, if you have content that's playing at 60 Hertz, you don't need, or 60 FPS, it matches that. You don't need to actually have 120 Hertz at that point of time and draining excess battery. You can actually keep it very controlled. So one question is quite interesting. What is the difference between a regular sensor without OIS and with OIS? I think it's very simple. Most times what happens is, especially with a smartphone, when you try to click a photo, you tend to have shakes in it, right? Or when you're trying to take videos, you tend to have shakes because you're moving about, you might be panning, you might be moving up and down, left and right. So what OIS does, it counteracts that shake. So shake is not really great for any image or video because it looks unprofessional, and the overall objective that you wish to have is to be shake free for any photo or video, right? OIS helps that. So typically most our hands do have some shake regardless of how stable we are. So this counteracts that by stabilizing your lenses, giving you a brilliant output, be it in daytime, nighttime, images or video. I'll do 2 more questions and then we'll wrap up the overall session itself. I think I saw a question, do we have 4K recording in the 200 MP smartphone? Yes, the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G comes with 4K video recording with OIS. So not only can you get 4K video, but you can get stabilized, optically stabilized videos on the Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. So difference between Pro AMOLED and Super AMOLED. I think this is a very interesting question. I know I was actually expecting this. So Super AMOLED is great. We have all seen that. But what is the difference between Pro AMOLED? It's basically the introduction of clever or intelligent switching, right? So we have dynamic switching, which automatically, based on the content that you have, switches between 30, 60, 90 and 120 Hertz refresh rates rather than just sticking to 60 or 120. Most smartphones, they can switch, but they switch between 60 and 120. They don't have the option of 30 or 90. This additionally gives it that extra 2 steps, which overall improves the efficiency and also gives you better and more desirable results depending on the content that you're watching. One last question. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of time, but one last question before we wrap up. Let me just check. Quite a lot of comments coming from you guys. Thank you so much for all your interest. Please do talk about the Super Note series, the Redmi Note 12 5G series on social media. I'm sure that this is something that you will all love and appreciate once you get your hands on this. And that's the precise reason why we have this first access. Before anyone else, you're able to get your hands on these devices only on Mi.com. And by the way, Mi.com also has the best exchange value of any platform out there. So if you're thinking of exchanging your smartphone as well, we have a very incredible deal. And on top of that deal also, you're getting the best exchange value on Mi.com. So if you have your Xiaomi or Redmi series device, you can actually come to Mi.com, exchange it for the best exchange value as well. Quite a lot of questions. I'm trying to narrow down one, but I think before that itself, it is just changing. So let me pick a few more questions. And by the way, one more thing, we also have to announce the lucky winners for the free phone, which we shall do soon. I saw a question which talks about high-res audio. So how high-res audio works is the fact that you have a 3.5 mm audio jack. So wired route is through the audio jack. You basically get higher quality audio output because it supports high-res. So whatever you're listening to in terms of movies, in terms of music, you get the best quality output possible from your Super Note. You also have high-res wireless, which is again very, very rare, especially in this price segment, but we are giving the user the ability to choose between wired or wireless, and both of them have high-res. Typically what happens is people either get a high-res wired option or they get a wireless option, but we're giving both of that in these devices. I see a lot of people saying that they're Note 4 user, Note 3 user, and they want a 12 Pro. Well, actually one great thing I'd like to highlight here is that if you're a Note 3 or Note 4 user and you're still using a phone, it just shows the great quality that all these devices are built with. Several years down the line, you're still using it as your primary device. That is absolutely incredible. So we have the winners here. With that, I'll wrap it up after declaring the winners. So the Me IDs, all of you please listen. I'll repeat twice all the Me IDs, and these guys will get a free smartphone, the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. There are 3 winners, so we're not just giving away one. No, we want to give away 3 units of this phone. So we are giving away, the first Me ID is 16794319902. I'll repeat, 16794319902. Congratulations on your brand new Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. The second winner is 538501776. I'll repeat once more, 538501776. Congratulations to you two as well on your brand new Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. The last winner, 54950777380. I'll repeat once more, 54950777380. Congratulations on your brand new Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. So that was a quick look at our incredible new Super Note lineup, the Redmi Note 12 series. All 5G enabled, India ready 5G enabled, all incredibly great value for money and incredibly capable devices which definitely punch way above its weight in terms of what it can offer in terms of value for money. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in for the very first live, Xiaomi Live, exclusively on me.com, where you have the first access to the Redmi Note 12 series. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully we'll catch you very, very soon on our very next live session.